8 months ago, I added 4 pairs of Vivaia shoes to my collection, and that's also when I did the first review on this channel. But since then, I had the opportunity to wear the shoes a lot more in many different situations, which means I can also give you the updated review because there are a few things that I learned that I really want to talk about with you today. And then I also have 3 new pairs that I got for this fall and winter that I'm also gonna review today, and I'm gonna show you some outfit ideas, all of the good stuff. But first, I want to mention that this video is in a collaboration with Vivaia, which I'm so grateful because I really love their shoes a lot. And the main reason for that is because their shoes are not only very stylish and versatile, but they're also insanely comfortable, which for me is a perfect combo. And I know from past experience, it's not always easy to find the shoes that can do it all, but with the Vivaia shoes, they have so many different styles, so many different designs, and you can just bet that every single one, they're gonna be comfortable and they're gonna be stylish. So obviously you can tell that I love the shoes a lot, but before I continue with the review, I also quickly wanna give you the code in case you like any of the shoes. And if you use code BFKIM for Black Friday, you're gonna get bigger discounts depending on how many pairs of shoes you get, which I will explain everything in the description box, so you're gonna have all of the important info right there. But this is the very important code done, and now we can go into the review. The first new pair that I want to talk about are the Rumi boots, which for me are, as I've said before, which is kind of going to be a theme in this video, are the perfect combo between style and comfort. And I think these are the first kitten heels that I ever owned, so I wasn't sure how it's gonna go, but honestly, now that I wore them a lot, I can tell you that these heels, I didn't even realize that I'm wearing heels. These shoes are so comfortable. So I love that I have the polish and the style of a heel without the discomfort. And also I love that they're a little bit more elongated at the front, so they're also gonna elongate the leg perfectly. So these shoes I'm absolutely obsessed with. And I especially love the color. This one, I think it's called the oatmeal wool, something like that. And for me, this color is very easy to style because it's really neutral. So it's not too warm, it's not too cool, and it really goes with most of my items in my capsule wardrobe. And just for color's sake, I'm also gonna compare it with some of my gray items and beige items so you can really see on screen how they look in real life. But for me, this color, I realized that it's really essential to me to have some kind of lighter, neutral boots in my collection, because oftentimes when I'm wearing miniskirt, black miniskirts, black dresses, all of that, and then I have the new tights and I want to elongate the leg, this color looks absolutely stunning and it's really flattering. Plus, I think this color is gonna go perfectly in the fall, in the winter, and then also in the spring. So these are really versatile boots in my opinion. You also have 2 styling options with this boot. The first one is to have them completely up to your knee, which is my preferred option. Or if you want something a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more casual, you can also scrunch them down. So it really depends on the vibe that you're going for, but I love that you can have that versatility. And now for the sizing, I went for the size 40 because I tried also the 39.5, but those were obviously too small for me. So for me, the size 40 is the perfect size, which is actually the entire size higher than my usual size. And this is something that I really noticed with all of the Vivaia shoes that are kind of pointy at the front. You have to go at least half a size or the entire size bigger if your feet are wider like mine are. I said this before, but my feet are really wide, so I just have to size up with the Vivaia pointed shoes. Other than that, I have nothing negative to add here. They're really comfortable from the get-go. There is no breaking in period. And the only thing that the time will tell is how the color is gonna hold up. But because these are water repellent and because I also have some other lighter shoes from Vivaia that I had for months, I'm not really worried that they're gonna get dirty easily. That is also something I love about this material. It doesn't get dirty easily. So obviously, I love these shoes a lot, and if you're looking for everyday heeled boots that can do it all, for me, I would highly recommend this. I love them, obviously. And then I have another booties that I fell in love with as soon as I saw them on their website, and these are called the Alana boots, and you can actually style them in 3 different ways if you have the extra accessories, which I'm gonna show you in a second. But first I want to show you the booties itself. The reason I went for these ankle booties in particular is because first, I love that they are pointy at the front. So if I'm wearing something like my long pants, I just love to have a little tip at the end. I think this is so elegant and so effortlessly chic. I love it. But then also I really like the heel height. If you remember my slingback heels, they kind of have the same heel height, which is around 6 centimeters. And for me, for my foot, the 6 centimeter heels are the perfect medium because they look stylish, they look polished, but also I know I'm gonna be comfortable. And so many of my other shoes from my other brands, they also have a 6 centimeter heels. And then another thing I really appreciate that kind of surprised me is that these are actually slip-on heels. So when I'm walking out of the door, I can just put them on without any extra effort. And yeah, like I said, I really feel this is amazing. As for the size, again, I tried the 39.5, which were too small for me, and that's why I went for the size 40. And then when it comes to the comfort, again, there is no breaking in period. They're really comfortable from the get-go. The only thing that I would point out here is because they're kind of sock-like material, sometimes if I'm wearing only tights, I don't feel 100% secure. That's why I also like to have socks as well when I'm wearing this kind of heels, so I just feel a little bit more supported. So that is kind of the only downside I can think of. Other than that, they're really comfortable and really easy to walk in. And then very importantly, you can wear them in multiple ways. So if I show you the extra accessories, I think your mind is gonna be blown. Pretty much Vivaia released leg warmers you can easily pair with any kind of ankle booties. You can go for the heeled version like I did, you can go for the kitten heel, or you can go for flat booties. It really depends on your preference, but you can use these leg warmers to really transform the ankle booties into the standard knee boots. The first option they have are the wider knitted leg warmers that are a little bit more structured, and honestly I prefer these because they look so modern and chic, and I already wore them with my black tights, with my skirts, and also with some of my skinny jeans, and these are just so easy to put on, easy to style, easy to wear, and I just think they elevate the outfit right away. But there is one downside because these don't really directly attach to the boot and they're kind of sitting on top of the boot. Sometimes when you're walking for a little bit of a longer time, you have to readjust them, otherwise you can kind of step on them a little bit. So this is the only thing that I would point out. But one way how you can get around this is that you get a proper size, not only for your feet but also for your heel height, because the higher the heel, the less surface there is for the leg warmer to sit on. So just something to keep in mind. For reference, these are the size 40 as I've said, and the leg warmers I got in the 37 to 39.5. So maybe if I would go for a size smaller, they just wouldn't go down that easily. So that is something to keep in mind. But other than that, I still love these leg warmers and I think they're amazing. But then they have another option that are a little bit more fitted, a little bit thicker and a little bit warmer. And I think these are amazing for those colder days when you want to have the extra layer of warmth. Again, you can wear them in any way that you like, with your skirts, dresses, with your shorts, or even skinny jeans. And for reference, I got the size M and they're the perfect size for me. And also you have the variation of how you want to wear them. You can wear them completely up to your knee, or if you want a more scrunched down look, you can of course scrunch them down. So again, you have the versatility, but I think these are amazing for the colder days because they're really warm. And then the third pair you kind of seen already, but I have the Francesca loafers in the black color that are perfect for fall and winter. And I added them to my wishlist, I think it was a month or two ago. And I had this idea that they're gonna look amazing with my black tights, black shorts, black skirts. And I was absolutely right, because since then, that is primarily how I wore them, and every time I wear them I feel incredibly stylish. And they have many different loafers on their website, but the reason I like the Francesca loafer is because they're chunkier, which means that if I'm wearing something a little bit more bulky on top, like my oversized blazer or a wool coat, my proportions are gonna be a little bit more balanced. Plus I think the chunky loafers feel just a little bit more modern and relaxed. And then to the biggest upside of all is how comfortable they are. They have the cushioned sole, which feels amazing. And then also they're a slip-on shoe, so you can just put them on when you're going out of the house, which I really appreciate. And then I also have important updates when it comes to the sizing, because if you remember, 8 months ago, I got my first pair of Francesca loafers in a different color, and this I got in my regular size, which is 39. And this at first felt completely fine, but the more I wore them for the longer periods of time, I realized that these are just too small for me. Every time I'm wearing socks or my feet swell a little bit, they are just too tight. So that's why I decided this time around to go for 39.5, so you can really see the difference and I can compare them. And I can honestly say that the 39.5 feels so much better on my feet. So again, if your feet are wider, even with shoes that are not pointy, you have to go half a size bigger. But there is one thing that I want to mention, because I've realized that loafers are actually a little bit harder to get right when it comes to sizes. It doesn't matter which brand, but loafers kind of have that characteristic. So I want to mention that when I got the 39.5, at first I experienced just a tiny bit of heel slippage. And I was like, what's going on? Again, I was a little bit confused. If the 39 were too small, why is my heel slipping just a tiny bit? Obviously my heel didn't go out all of the way, just tiny bit. I felt maybe these are too big, but because I was reading online, I realized that this is normal with loafers when they are new, because the heels at the back are still a little bit rigid, so that's why they're not really hugging the heel properly. But once you wear the shoes a lot more, they're gonna mold around your feet and the heel slippage is gonna drastically lessen or even disappear. And that's exactly what happened with this size. And because I learned my lesson with the first review and I realized I have to wear shoes for longer periods before giving my conclusion, I made sure to wear this out for longer periods, and I'm happy to report there was no blisters at all. I even ran in them once because when we were shopping I forgot something in the store, so I was in complete panic and I was running and I was absolutely fine. And of course, because I realized this is a much better size for me, I kindly asked them if they can also update my almond loafers with the 39.5, which they did. And here I have the two new loafers in the proper size. And now lastly, what I want to mention here is the tear and wear, because I know a lot of you wanted to see that. So here I have the loafers that I wore 18 times, and here I have the brand new loafers that I haven't worn yet because I was really focusing on the black pair. And I just wanted to show you the wear and tear so you can see for yourself. The bottoms are obviously a lot different. You can also see the difference when it comes to the heel, just a little bit. And then this is how they look from the front. As I said before, they really don't get dirty easily, and I wasn't babying them at all. I even wore them, I think it was kind of slight rain or something like that. So obviously I'm not worrying about the light color with these shoes because the material is amazing. And then I also have the update when it comes to Addison slingback heels, because if you remember 8 months ago, I got both of these in the size 39. And from everything that I said in this video, you can kind of guess that obviously I went the size too small. So this time around, I was like, can you please upgrade this for the size 40? And I can give you my final conclusion. So pretty much, again, I'm gonna just blame the weather, okay? I feel so silly, I made so many sizing mistakes. But if I'm completely honest, this one is on me. I should have paid a lot more attention to how much room I had at the front of the shoes. But because I got this for special occasion and they felt a lot more comfortable than other heels from different brands, I just made a quick conclusion that they are the right size. But then in the summer, when I wore them for a longer period of time, I realized that, okay, I should have sized up. So when I got the new size, I made sure to wear them even more than the first time around. When they were completely new and clean, I wore them when I was working from home. So I was kind of working on the computer, sitting down, and then I was walking around the house, and I was kind of pretending I'm working in an office, because I know a lot of you can use the shoes in this kind of way. And for that, they were really perfect. They really feel like the everyday comfortable heel. But then of course, I also had to wear them for a longer walk. So I went on a walk with my dog in these heels because I had nowhere else to wear them, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it this way. I think it was 3,000 steps on the second wear. So again, no blisters, no discomfort. Now, how they would feel if I would walk even longer, that is something I don't know quite yet. But for me, these heels are more kind of a special occasion heel anyway, so I'm not expecting to be walking in them 10,000 steps a day, if that makes sense. But still, in the future, if there is going to be an opportunity to wear them longer, I'm gonna do that, and then I can also give you another extra update. And then also all of this wear, what really taught me about this material, because Vivaia material is really unique to them. What I learned about this material in particular is that it doesn't really stretch out a lot, but it does mold around your foot. So when you're trying the shoes on, you have to make sure you have enough room from the get-go. Otherwise, you're gonna get in trouble like I did. As I said, they're gonna mold, they're gonna be a little bit more softer, a little bit more comfortable, but you're not necessarily gonna get the bigger size. And then I also have the Aria flat ballerinas, which again, now I have them in size 40 because the 39.5 just wasn't working out for me. You can kind of guess already why. I'm not gonna repeat myself, but I have to mention these are the only shoes that I had to kind of break them in a little bit. With all of my other shoes, especially boots, you know, there is no breaking in, period. But with pointy ballerinas, there is a little bit discomfort at first. And I remember on the second wear, I wore them again for the walk with my dog, and I did around 5,000 steps, and at the end I developed a little blister, and I was like, okay, I think it was just on one side right here, but that kind of made me realize I have to go a little bit slower with pointy ballerinas. So this is something to keep in mind. And I would even say that if you are planning to walk in your ballerinas the entire day, maybe go for the almond shape or even the square toe, because they have so many different options. I think those are gonna be a much safer bet. For me, for my lifestyle and how much I'm working from home, and I usually wear shoes just for quick errands and stuff, for me these are still very comfortable. And even though I developed a blister, this is still very impressive to me, because I remember the Valentino pointy ballerinas, I think I developed the blister 5 or 10 minutes into the walking, which is insane. So these are obviously much more stretchy and much more comfortable. And also now that I wore them a lot more, again, I wouldn't get the blister on the same 5,000 walk. As for the wear and tear, I think I wore this around 12 times, and I can show you how they look. These are how the bottoms are. These are a little bit dirty here, but you can see the color is really not that dirty, nothing special happened here. And also these are machine washable anyway, so I can just take the insoles out and I can put them into a washing machine, which I haven't done yet because obviously they're not dirty enough for me to do that. But yeah, it's something that I wanted to mention. I really wanted to give you a more detailed review, and I really hope this is helpful. But if you have any questions about any particular style, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. As I said before, I really like the shoes, so there is not a lot of negatives for me to point out. I genuinely love them, I enjoy them, so hopefully if you decide to get a pair, you will love them too. But this is it for today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next time.